Palantir is arguably one of the hottest AI stocks in the market right now. Shares have risen considerably higher in the last year and a half or so, as the company has benefited from its investments in AI and its ability to market its services to a broader range of businesses, adding on to the incredible success it's already had selling its services to governments. So that's created a nice boost in the company's commercial business, which is one of the biggest opportunities I was enthusiastic about for Palantir stock in the last couple of years. But where do I think Palantir's stock price will end up by the end of this year, by the end of 2025? That's the question I'm going to answer in this video. Looking at this question from a couple of perspectives, including my discounted cash flow valuation model for Palantir stock. I'll share that with you in this video. I'll also look at the company's earnings per share expectations and the forward price to earnings multiple and combine the various valuation metrics to determine my price prediction for Palantir stock for 2025. So let's get started. All right, starting with my Palantir discounted cash flow valuation for the last time I updated this was on March 4th, 2025. And the numbers are still relevant today. And the intrinsic value per share I calculated for Palantir when I did this calculation, and this was an upgrade, by the way, when I did this on March 4th, I increased the intrinsic value per share. Previously, I had the intrinsic value per share calculated at around $25, and then I updated and upgraded the free cash flow expectations, and that raised my intrinsic value per share to $46.70. That compares unfavorably to the current market price of $85.24. Now, I used Wall Street analyst estimates for the free cash flow expectations between 2024 and 2029. And then from 2030 to 2034, I incorporated my own free cash flow expectations, where I forecasted its free cash flow will grow between 2029 and 2034 at a compounded annual growth rate of over 21%. So even incorporating those bullish forecasts for free cash flow growth, the intrinsic value per share came in at $46.70. So the next thing I'm going to look at is the company's multiples valuation, incorporating its forward price to earnings ratio and the analyst expectations for its earnings per share in 2026, because I'm going to use the forward price to earnings ratio. So I need the earnings per share expectations for 2026 to make the price prediction for 2025 when I'm using the forward PE ratio. Okay, so here I have the earnings per share estimate for Palantir for 2026 at 70 cents. 70 cents. These are from a collection of analysts that are following Palantir stock and what they believe the company's earnings per share will be next year in 2026. And of course, as Palantir's stock price has soared, its valuation has soared as well. It's now trading at a forward price to earnings of a very expensive 122. Now, Palantir stock does deserve to trade at a premium valuation because it's delivered premium results. Its revenue growth is accelerating, its cash flow from operations are rising, it's profitable on the bottom line only recently, and those profits are increasing. The analysts on Wall Street that are following Palantir expect its free cash flow to continue growing. It's a software-based business model, or in other words, it sells software services. It's more bespoke, but it's still a business that can generate very high and very lucrative profit margins because it's not in the business of selling physical products. And when you're not selling physical products, your profit margins are not as constrained. You can deliver better profit margins when you're not limited to physical products. It's just a quirk of business that when you have to produce and manufacture things, your profit margins are constrained. And so Palantir doesn't have those limits on the profit margins because it doesn't need to sell anything physical. At a forward price to earnings of 122, it could be a little rich for some investors, certainly rich for me. And so I'm going to incorporate that premium valuation into my price prediction for 2025. So here I have a model that's going to give me several different scenarios based on the earnings per share expectations for Palantir and the forward price to earnings for Palantir. By the way, if you want access to all of my spreadsheets that includes these forecasts and these price targets for Palantir and over 100 companies, you can get access to these with a membership at the investor tier for my channel. So you can get access to all of these spreadsheets as I update them live. So in this model, the earnings per share expectation, which I retrieved from ticker.com at 70 cents, if we combine that with the forward PE of 126, we'll get a price of $88.20. Now, if the forward PE were to decrease because it's so high already, I don't expect this forward PE to go any higher. It's, in my opinion, it's either going to stay the same or retreat lower. And if it falls to 100, the price could fall to $70 a share. If the forward PE were to fall to 80, the price could fall to $56. And if the forward PE falls to 60, the price could fall to $42. Now, one of the reasons why I say the forward PE is unlikely to rise further is because it's already at the higher end of where this forward PE has been for Palantir over the last 3 years. In fact, when it reached those higher levels above 150, 170, the stock valuation quickly retreated lower. It's rare for a business this mature to trade at these levels of premium valuations. Palantir stock, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, is very popular among investors. And so that popularity has caused its valuation to reach soaring high levels, levels that I said at the beginning of the year that were maybe a little bit too stretched, right? I admitted, and I liked the company in terms of the progress it's been able to make in all of its important metrics. It's done a phenomenal job and it deserves a premium valuation. My only gripe with Palantir has been that it's just way too expensive. Its premium was a little too much. And so I believe that its valuation, the premium, is going to either stay the same here or decline. And so when incorporating all of these qualitative and quantitative metrics to come up with the price prediction for Palantir stock, the current market price is $85 per share. I don't see very much upside for Palantir stock in 2025. I think the price has risen so much already. It incorporates a lot of the excellent prospects that the business has over these next several years, which it does have excellent prospects. The opportunity for Palantir to expand within enterprises is massive. It's a massive opportunity, much larger, maybe 10 times larger than its opportunity with governments. And so I'm very enthusiastic about Palantir in that category. Although I think a lot of that has already been incorporated in the current stock price, which has been increasing by so much in the last year. So to give you my price prediction for Palantir stock for 2025, I think the shares will end the year somewhere between $75 per share and $85 per share by the end of 2025, which, as you can see, if you compare to the current market price, I don't see very much upside from the market price at the current level of $85 per share. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not bullish on this company longer term, because I do think they're going to achieve incredible success longer term. I would just be myself. I have the company on my watch list, and I would want to get into this stock at a lower price point, not at the current prices of $85 per share. If you liked the video you just saw and you want to see more just like it, please subscribe to the channel. I can't keep this channel free without the support of viewers like you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, and I appreciate your support.